Hello, second grade. We are now going to talk about another element of art. This time, we are going to talk about the element known as form. Okay? Form is very similar to shape, but now instead of just it being flat and only being 2 dimensions, it is now 3 dimensions. So we now have length, width, and now height or depth um, included in the shape. Okay? Form can be both 2D, so it can be done on or create form on a flat surface, so on a piece of paper or a painting, and it can look 3D like that, or it can actually be done in 3D art, such as sculpture and pottery. Those are actually forms of art where you can actually hold the artwork in your hand and you can see the form in all directions when you look at the art piece. While something that's 2D on a piece of paper, you can only see it looking in one direction. Okay? Now, with form, it can be both geometric, realistic, or even free form. Okay? So when I say free form, I mean similar to what shape was with organic. So it doesn't have a formula to or a certain way to make it. It's very flowy, like leaves, vines, or a river. Very nice flow to it. But most common forms we see are geometric or realistic. So here we have on your screen a couple of geometric forms, okay? So the very first one we're going to talk about is the rectangular prism, okay? So looking at that, you probably already can guess what rectangular prism, what shape it's based off of, okay? So the shape that a rectangular prism is based on is a rectangle, okay? So think of a rectangle if it was how it's flat and on the surface, but then a rectangular prism, you can see it on every single side, all right? Now a cube is the 3D form of a square, okay? So every side is the same, equal on all the way around, unlike a rectangle. And you see that most commonly, let's say, with dice when you play a board game, okay? And you notice when you roll dice that it has 6 sides to it, okay? Or what we call faces, okay? Because there are 6 different spots on a cube. Now a cylinder, okay, that's more commonly seen with pop cans, water bottles, canned foods, stuff like that. A sphere, you'd see that commonly with a basketball, a baseball, softball, volleyball, or even like those the dodgeballs you use during gym class, okay? So that is the 3D form of a circle. Now, like I said earlier, form can be seen both in 3D art and in 2D art. So some examples for 3D we have, again, is sculptures, okay? So again, they can be very realistic, as you can see in these 2 examples right here. All right, we have the eagle and we have the girl right here. But then they could be, again, very freeform or more abstract, okay? So this one, you can tell it is based off of 2 people, but it doesn't have the right anatomy, or it doesn't look exactly how a person would look like, okay? But you can tell just by looking at the sculpture that it does look or have a sense that it is 2 people in this piece, okay? Other areas of art that you probably have seen form both 3D and 2D is in movies. So think of the animations that you've seen recently, animated films. So Disney lately has been doing, I know, a lot of what we call 3D animation. Here's an example of a 3D animation. So we have your How to Train Your Dragon. that one was a 3D movie. So they used what they call models, 3D models, to make the characters. So like these are technically sculpture models, but then in the movies they're able to actually move the characters, okay? So again, movies like this, that is what we call 3D animation, okay? Now this one is 2D animation, okay? You guys probably don't even know this film. It's called The Road to El Dorado. Now this one, again, it's done on a flat surface on paper, but it still is, or the artists are still able to create form, but more on a 2D surface, okay? So they instead have to make pictures over and over and keep drawing them to create a movie based on that, okay? We're going to talk a little bit more about form in the next video, and then we're going to talk about your assignment, all right? I will see you guys then in the next one, okay?